Thank you very much, Freak. And I'd like to welcome CLG's dynamic bot lane duo, Doublelift and Afromove. First of all, congratulations on your win. Well played. Game 1 seemed to go perfectly in your favor. Game 2, a little bit more of a struggle. So let's talk about the opening minutes. Shifter seemed to get roaming a little bit. How did you guys handle the early game, and how did you bounce back from behind?
Well, I think we outplayed them early game. In the 2v1, we finished the tower race a lot faster than them, and we put a lot of pressure on the map. And the thing that Coast does that no good teams really do, like the top 3 teams do, is Zion froze on Yan. And that's actually really horrible to do. It's just, you're putting no pressure on the map, and then like we are supposed to react, which we did eventually, but a little bit late by diving bottom. And we kind of did a little bit late, and it ended up having Yan really far behind. So essentially, like they had a top laner who was really strong, and we had a weak top laner, and all the other lanes were like doing pretty well. But Aurelia has a really strong early game and kind of falls off later on. So we kind of knew, oh wow, they have LeBlanc, they have Aurelia, and they're doing really well this game. Maybe like strategically they didn't play very well, but somehow they managed to get like really high CS on those 2 champions, and we were just trying to play like defensive. They just walked into our jungle, and they know they're stronger. But after like 5 or 10 minutes of that, we kind of catch up in terms of strength.
You seem to have a very good grasp on 4.5 sitting up on the stage. Afromove, what was preparation like coming into the playoffs? You know, quite a lot changed in terms of itemization and some thought process, the new tower push meta, so to speak. So how did CLG prep, and how are you feeling on the patch?
We prepared a lot versus Cloud9, who's really good at innovating and figuring out things before other teams do, which is why they're the top seed in NA. And playing against C9 really helped us a lot in figuring out what's good, what's not good. And, you know, the triple heal right now, the double heal bot lane, which is kind of ridiculous. And then runes are really new too as well, where reds give the same armor as yellows do. So it's just pretty good all around. And even in the 2v1, it's like people are discovering new ways to push faster like we did that game. So
I've got a very specific question that you know, we'll throw to Dexter later. But as a team, does CLG look at and evaluate Feral Flare? In Game 1, it seemed like you were super happy camping and farming. Dexter got so far ahead on Feral Flare stacks. Game 2, it felt like you were controlling Nintendo. So my question is, was that a conscious decision, or was it a benefit of the strategic play that you guys had going in?
It's a little bit of both. I think when we have a Feral Flare jungler, we tend to be like, okay, we just want 2v2, 1v1 lanes, obviously, because if you're 2v1ing, then the Feral Flare jungler kind of gets behind. You can't farm your camps as much when you have to respond to pressure. And I think it wasn't so much us making like a great decision, like a conscious effort, as much as Coast just making like bad decisions, because the first game, they chose to 2v2 us. They could have 2v1 if they wanted to, but they chose to 2v2 us, and that let Dexter farm forever on his Feral Flare. In the second game, we forced 2v1 on them, but they should have like known. It's really obvious that we're going to 2v1 that game. And they could have very easily, you know, chose to mirror us to 2v2 and then get their Feral Flare jungler started. So it's like a little bit of both. In the end, it's a little bit of a gamble, like a guessing game, but yeah.
Well, it seems to work in your favor. Another event that worked in your favor was a dragon fight from Game 2. Let's pull this replay up onto your screens. It was a slightly extended fight. Starts with some poking and Dexter some flashy moves. So Doublelift and Afro, let's tag team this one. Talk us through the play. Let's roll this one out. And talk me through what's happening in the communication and, you know, how you guys handled it.
Well, the spear landed, and I didn't even see this, honestly, on my screen. I play with lock camera. So maybe Afro can comment on that.
all right, well, they had war control over our blue, but Daydream got caught out, and we got a spear right there. And then Zion got caught out by a good Nien pillar and a spear. And Doublelift died to LeBlanc here, and we're like, what's going on, dude? Holy crap.
Yeah, what was going on?
Well.
Why were you so out of position, man?
I blame Afro, dude. Where was my lantern? He should have told me. But no, I'm just really bad. I shouldn't have. I was like, where's LeBlanc? She's probably like next to Dragon or something. I'm gonna go check. And then I like walked into the brush and just instantly died. That was a pretty good signature me move right there.
Afro, who's the loudest voice in those moments? Because you know, there's a lot of action, a lot of locations. Dexter's flashing in one way. All of a sudden, your AD carry's down. He's screaming at you, "Where's my lantern?" Who's the loudest voice, and who's calling those moments?
I would say me. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm the loudest.
So because you were commanding the team, you couldn't save lift?
Well, sometimes you just have to let them go.
Yeah. Sacrifice one for the benefit of the many.
Doublelift, I have a question for you. Last week or 2 weeks ago, you had a quote when you guys took out TSM, and you said that it was one of the most gratifying wins of your career.
Yeah.
With the victory today, you are playing Team Solo Mid tomorrow in the semi-finals, best of 3. It is one of the longest, actually, it is the longest standing rivalry in competitive League of Legends, CLG versus TSM. What does that series mean to you? And how important is it?
Well, to be honest, I don't see TSM so much as like, yeah, they're our rivals. I think they're about even with C9 at this point because our games are so good. I think it'll be way more gratifying to beat C9 because I want to make it to Grand Finals, obviously. But beating TSM just shows like, yeah, we're better than them, which I firmly believe we are better than them.
So going into tomorrow's match, 2-0, 2-1. I mean, those are strong
It's
words.
2-1, 2-1. It's not going to be that much. Like we're not like head over heels or anything, but I don't know. They seem to be really slow to adapt to the new patch, and I just want to get this games like in. You know, I just want to see what did TSM do to prepare because we scrimmed a lot against C9, who I think are the strongest team right now.
Aframood, talking similar vein, playing against TSM tomorrow. When you look at the rosters, a lot of players, old CLG, old TSM from the glory days, are not there anymore. But this is now modern times. How are you feeling going into the matchup? Are you as confident as Doublelift as the shot caller in some of the more dramatic moments?
I was actually really more scared against Coast because I feel like they would pull out the cheese, but thankfully they didn't. And versus TSM, I'm just really comfortable playing against TSM, and I'm very confident that my team can take them on in a head-to-head.
Well, a lot of confidence. I wish you guys the best of luck. I look forward to watching your games tomorrow. And once again, congratulations on the win. We do need to take a very quick break, guys. And when we come back, we'll jump into our next quarterfinal series between Dignitas and Curse, which will determine who will move on to our second semi-final series tomorrow. Stay tuned.